How was that march based on what you expected versus what you saw? And what did you see that day? When you went home that night and you called a friend or said something to someone, you know what I saw today? I saw this happen. And that was incredible, and it surprised me a little bit, but it also confirmed I'm on the right path. I wonder if you could share a couple details of that day, because it wasn't obvious what was going to happen, okay? And Tommy had been here a couple weeks earlier, and he was out there pleading for people, and he really wanted to show the world that we could show up, not as hooligans and not as what you think we are. And
he wants peace and love.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
That's what we all want. Yeah. So I went to that march, not knowing what the rally. I called it a rally rather than a march because everyone congregated in a particular place, or tried to congregate. There were far too many people to be able to make it. But I didn't know what to expect. I've spoken to millions of people, but I've always done it through a lens. I've never had to actually face people. And facing people can be quite scary because you get feedback straight away if they don't like what you're saying. And then you end up going, oh my goodness, I'm in trouble here. So I didn't know what to expect. I'd never spoken to so many people. I didn't know whether there was going to be violence. I knew that there were going to be the so-called anti-racists up the road, as if I could possibly be a racist. And there were so many people, by the way, of different ethnicities in that march, in that rally. So I didn't know, is there going to be violence? Am I going to make it out of this? My mother kept saying, get a stab vest. She said, Ben, you better wear a stab vest. And my mother, who was 91, initially wanted to come, and I wanted to present my mother, actually. It was a funny story. Can I digress and tell my mother's story?
Please.
So I was taking my mum for a coffee a few weeks before the march, and I said, Mum, do you know who I mean by Tommy Robinson? And she looked very pensive, and she said, isn't he the guy who had a squabble with Nigel Farage? And I said, yeah, they had a bit of a squabble. And she said, well, he must be a very sensible person then. And so I wanted to feel Mum on the stage and tell that joke, because I thought it was brilliantly put by my 91-year-old mum. And it was also her birthday, and she always says she wants to be part of what I'm doing. But she was tired, and I was a bit worried about, what might happen and so on. So anyway, she didn't go on the day. But so I went up slightly trepidatious. I never write my speeches, Brian. I always get up and speak.
Okay. I watched and listened to your speech. So.
Yeah. So, I kind of know what I'm going to say. But I was nervous, and I got up, and I was amazed by the cheer I got when I went on stage. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I was settled. It's a bit like, have you ever boxed or done any combat? Yeah.
Yes.
So before you go in the ring, you've got butterflies in your stomach. The minute you're in the ring, you're just on, right?
Yes.
And so once I was on the stage, I got the roar of the crowd.
Investment Club. Today, I consider it the best investment that I've ever made. We get 4 projects presented a week by their associated CEOs. Personally, I'm completely blown away by the quality of these projects, and I know of nowhere else where I would be given this same opportunity. Each week that passes, I feel more appreciative of the fact that I'm a member of this group. The vibe was just tremendous. Everybody's on the same wavelength. We just clicked. Everybody listened to each other, enjoyed their company. It was just magical, magical. Take action. Don't take my word for it. Due diligence you need to do. And I really hope that someday down the road I see you in the club. It far exceeded expectations, without question.
And I was just at peace with myself, at peace with the people, and I spoke from the heart and said it as I saw it. And there was a moment of levity when people on my left interrupted. They wouldn't let me speak. They wanted to say Keir Starmer's a wanker.
Yes, and you addressed that. Yeah.
And I looked at them and I thought, and they wouldn't stop. So I thought, well, let's get it out of our system. And I went with it, and I said, come on, let's get it out of our system. Keir Starmer is. And, I think that went down quite well.
Yes.
Though I've received some criticism for it. But I'll tell you what was really interesting after the march, after the rally. I got calls from friends of mine in Pakistan who said, Ben, I'm impressed with what you're doing. I said, you're not upset with me? You're not upset with, me being on stage with Tommy Robinson? He says, no. If anyone tried to do to Pakistan what they're trying to do to the UK, they would be absolutely dressed down. If Christians came to Pakistan and said, we want to turn this into a Christian country now, and you better protect us and give us lots of churches and do this and do that, we'd go, what are you talking about? This is a Muslim country. Sod off. They get it. People get it across the globe. People get it.
That's interesting, because a lot of people wouldn't think that.
No, but they get it. I also have friends in Pakistani law enforcement, and I've had discussions with them about the rape gangs. And they say to me, it's your own bloody problem. We have a treaty. Pakistan, they say, has a treaty with the United Kingdom called the Pakistan Prisoner Transfer Treaty, pursuant to which Pakistanis who've committed misdemeanors in the UK can be deported to Pakistan. Never once has that treaty been invoked. It's been in place since 2018. Never once has it been invoked. And they say to me, the reason it hasn't been invoked is because you put the criminals' interests ahead of the victims' interests. How are you going to expect a criminal justice system to work if you protect the criminals? And at the heart of the Pakistani rape gangs, at the heart of the rape gangs, is the protective blanket our institutions have put round not just the rapists initially, though they have now faced trial, but all the component institutions that turned a blind eye to it. The component, culpable through being a component part of it, if you're with me. You know, the police, social services, local community centres, orphanages, where some of these, I don't know if you call them orphanages, but where children who have, without parents,
right,
you know, are being cared for. They were being prostituted out of these homes.
Wow.
By the people who were in charge of their care. Charges haven't been brought. We have a criminal justice system that favours the criminals. So how are we going to protect our victims? These underage white girls were thrown under a bus. And Pakistani law enforcement sees that. Our own law enforcement doesn't see it. So when they see me speaking for the United Kingdom at the United Kingdom March, they get it.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.